Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Hey, this is episode 93. If you're new to the Tony and Josh show, we're here to inform, entertain, and give you a laugh or two. We've searched the interwebs and found these earth-shaking stories to bring to you tonight.
It's like a buffet, but what's on the menu might be closer to what is between your knees than what's in the fridge. And speaking of taking a bite out of crime, this guy has an altercation with a cop with his teeth, but it wasn't the long arm of the law that he found his mouth upon. And speaking of premature ejaculation, a man has something go off in the middle of a movie and people fear the worst. It seems like everybody nowadays has a change dish, but I bet yours doesn't have the heft that this guy's does. God is a myth, or is he? This classroom tries to decide, and we take pity on the children that have to suffer.
But first, we want you guys to give us a call using our SpeakPipe feature on our website at TonyandJosh.com. Tweet us during the show at Tony and Josh Show, and don't forget to include us in your other tweets, any tweets, with the hashtag Tony and Josh.
Oh boy, we do love hearing from you guys, and there is one person who goes out of his way each and every week to give us a call and let us know that he still loves us.
Absolutely. And you know that to be Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and I just want to say about the government banning or controlling BB guns. A funny story, when I was a kid growing up on the dairy farm, we had a dog kennel type cage we put in the back of the truck to carry calves and small livestock to auction. And my brothers talked me into getting inside it. I won't mention how. And they locked me in and continued to pelt me with a spring action BB gun until I submitted and sang I'm a Little Teapot. And so how dare the government deny our children this rite of passage? And about privatizing space exploration. I imagine a spaceship's going to look something like NASCAR stock car with all the logos and stuff on it.
Uh-huh.
And I can see it now. This rocket launch brought to you by Viagra. It keeps going up and up. There's others. I could probably do better than that, but I'll just leave it on that.
Pretty good, actually.
All right, gentlemen, I'll chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
Well, if there was anything more of a phallic symbol than a rocket ship, right? I don't know what would be. So, yeah, BB guns, lots of fun. I had a pump gun that I had bought myself and from mowing lawns, and we were going to have a BB gun fight. I'd never had a BB gun fight in my life. It was I was always taught you're not supposed to shoot the gun at people, and anyway,
those rules go out the window quite quickly with the BB gun fight.
Well, I did a good job in not doing that. I was good with gun safety back when I was quite young, and anyway, the rule was, since everybody had the not a pump thing, you just do it the one time, and that's all you could do it with those. Yeah. They were the Daisy BB guns, single pumps. And the rule was that I couldn't pump mine up more than once, and they were just going to shoot theirs as normal. Right. So it was all fine and good, and everybody was adhering to the rules, basically me, until they barricaded themselves in my treehouse, and they were taking pock shots like snipers. So I pumped that sucker up, and I just shot in an open window and let it ricochet around inside the inside there. They gave up quick.
You guys ready to come down? We give up.
So it was fun times. I used that same treehouse to escape a spanking one time for my mom. She couldn't climb.
She's still looking for you.
All right, so interesting story there, Nikki G. Reminiscing here in my head, giving me flashbacks. So let's get our next Nikki G voicemail.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and about NASA's theory that if Hollywood could do it, then our astronauts should be able to do it. I like to take the same approach with the government and terrorist control. If Bruce Willis can bring down a whole building full of terrorists, the government should be able to do it just as easily, and with snappier catchphrases too. All right, gentlemen, I'll chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
I disagree. I don't think Bruce Willis could have any better. I don't think the government could have any better snappier phrases than Bruce Willis does.
I don't know, man. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, was a pretty good one.
So, you know what? Do you remember? I think it was the second Die Hard movie, the one with the airport. You know, where they took the terrorists took over the airport. I don't know if that was the second one or not.
I think it was the first one.
No, the first one was the building.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. Then it was the second one. Was the airport? Yeah.
So anyway, in the second one, I don't know if you recall or not, but Fred Thompson, actor, lawyer, senator, etc. He'd been in many things.
Oh yeah, good Lord, he's been in all kinds of. He plays a great politician or military guy.
Yeah, and he was actually a United States senator at one point. He passed away on November the 1st.
Oh, well, he was a great actor. I'm sure he'll be missed.
But I did not know that he was on the Republican side of the how was it stated? He was part of the Watergate team for the Republicans because he's a lawyer or was a lawyer. So I followed him on Twitter, and I swear to God, the man had writers. It was the stuff, every tweet that he made, it wasn't very often, every tweet that he made was just hilarious, and it was conservative, and it was anti-liberal.
Holy cow. I didn't know the guy was 6'6".
Huge.
Jeez, he was a hell of a man.
But he was in the air traffic controller area in that movie, and he didn't say I'd piss on a spark plug if I thought it would do any good. That was that was that computer movie, but it was along those lines. Very colorful character actor. So definitely going to miss his tweets. And I went back to look to see when the last time he tweeted, and it was like 27 days prior to his death, and I retweeted both of those tweets because they were funny. Good. And I hate that. It was a reoccurrence of lymph node cancer that killed him. So I had no idea he was even sick. Anyway, gonna miss him. He as big and as mean looking as he was a funny guy.
Definitely an intimidating man. Yeah, for sure. Well, something else that's going to be missed is his chance to give us a review. You know, and it's
no,
a damn shame.
I think he probably still is. We'll just have to wait till we get where he is to read it.
Yeah, exactly. If you guys would like to get your chance in to send us a review and have us read it on the air before you pass away, add this to your bucket list. Please head over to TonyandJosh.com. You guys can find out a number of ways to reach us there. Of course, we always appreciate an email, and you guys can send us an email to info@TonyandJoshShow.com.
Yeah, Dusty Dunn likes to send us things. He actually sends us things on Facebook. Goes over to our Tony and Josh show page on Facebook and leaves little tidbits, little twisted tidbits of stories that we
they
often use.
Little jewels indeed.
So do like Dusty Dunn does and give us stories or give us, I don't know, just give us grief over there on Facebook.
Just don't give us the clap.
Well, yeah, I get crabby when I get that. Okay, so anyway, moving along. But let's see, what do we want to do? Did the voicemails.
Oh, we got some noteworthy news to share with you guys. Other things that, may or may not be on your radar and certainly have popped up as a blip, if not a smear on our screen. The presidential debates just won't stop.
Oh, God.
Seriously, I am just dreading this next
Have you watched any of them? I don't watch them.
No, well, I've caught in the highlight reels, and that's all I need for now. China and the U.S. won't stop bickering over a postage stamp of an island in the middle of nowhere. That's, I'm sure, just going to end well. A loose military blimp falls from the sky, and of course, everybody loses their damn minds.
I have a statement about that real quick, Josh.
Okay, sure, go for it.
Did you know, strangely enough, what the name of that blimp was?
Dear God, please let it be Hindenburg.
No, swamp gas.
That's pretty good, too. Swamp gas is acting up again.
Is that a blimp? No, it's swamp gas. It's either swamp gas or Venus, right?
That was probably filled with one or the other anyways. Well, is this a sign of things to come or a sign that we're all doomed? Nepal elects their first woman president.
Oh, God.
Perfect. Now there's no more pressure for us to be first. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Cops are throwing kids around. That's Good times right there. Halle Berry and Oliver Martinez throw in the towel.
Yep.
Seals are raping penguins, and the cable company is still raping my pocketbook. And something. ISIS is bombing planes now. Something. Multiple countries. Something. We're all going to die. Yada yada.
But you yada yada the best part. No, I mentioned the bisque. If you don't know Seinfeld, you don't get that. So go watch that, and you have to look through 7 years of episodes to find it. Oh, gee. Hey, I just want to take a moment here to thank you guys for taking the time to download or stream our podcast and listen to Josh and I act up about random things for 30 minutes or so, because it's not always 30. It means a lot that you're here, and if you weren't here, there'd be no reason for us to be here. Thank you.
Well, there would, but it would be completely self-served, I assure you.
Or by-served, because it'd be two of us.
Oh, yeah. Good point. So, Tony, real quick, I think we've got time to squeeze this in really quick. Look, I've got change in my pocket right now. I know you've probably got change. I got a change dish somewhere around. I've got a little Tupperware container by my bed that I always empty my change in before at the end of the night or whatever. So, but this guy, he kind of took things to the next level, didn't he?
Yep. Help me out there. Is that Otha or Otha?
Otha Anders.
Otha Anders, probably originally from Mexico, saved his first penny more than 45 years ago when he found it on the ground. The coin reminded him to pray and give thanks. It had to have been a short prayer, for only a penny. I became convinced that spotting a lost or dropped penny was an additional God-given incentive, reminding me to always be thankful, said Anders, 73. You get this. He first penny he ever found, he was like, what, 30-something?
I guess.
So anyway, there have been days that I've failed to pray, and more often than not, or dropped a penny would show up to remind me. Oh, that's amazing. I don't see coins on the ground very much these days.
I guess I'm not walking around with my nose pointing to the sidewalk.
So that's a good point. If he sees it as a sign, he probably does look for them. 15 5-gallon plastic jugs and 500,000 pennies later.
Good Lord.
Anders on Tuesday, here recently, a recent Tuesday, deposited $5,136.14 into his account to go toward a recent dental bill. Now, you can identify with this, Josh, I know.
Yeah, I'd like to chew on pennies too. And they're bad for the teeth. They keep telling me that, I know. But I figured I'll save them. I suck on them for a little bit, give it a little chew, and I always test one to make sure that it's real. And, well, that's why my teeth are all just cracked to hell.
I'm still enjoying that aluminum foil, chewing the aluminum foil.
Yeah.
See, I would think that the copper pennies would be just as bad, but apparently not. So anyway, everybody told Josh there would be no math, so I'm quickly dividing this up. So over 45 years, he managed to save with this little hobby. He averaged $114.14 a year saving up like this. It's $5,000 and it's great. And it came in handy, to help pay for
about a penny every other day.
Yeah. I guess so. Cause there's 352 days a year. So anyway, so he cashed the coins at the Ruston Origin Bank in Ruston, Louisiana. Well, of course it was Louisiana. After that first coin, Anders said his penny pile began to grow and ultimately stopped spending pennies and always made sure whenever he made a purchase, the change contained at least 3 to 4 pennies. Oh, he was milking it. He was doing a plant there, Josh.
I wonder how he got away with this at the Dollar Tree. Everything's a buck. How did he get change from them? That's what I want to know.
Gives them $1.10. They look at him.
Really, sir?
So I just thought it was really cool. This guy saved up pennies.
Oh, I want to know how this 73-year-old man lifted up these 8-ton water bottles, because I don't know if you've ever collected any amount of change, but you put heavy. 2 handfuls together and it weighs a metric ton. How did this old man, literally 15 5-gallon plastic water jugs. I know a family that saved all of their change for a year or so, and however long it took them to fill that thing up. But they took the whole family on a first-class trip to Disneyland with just one water bottle, and this is the 5 gallon. What you'd see in an office or
these are
something
pennies,
like that. In those water
these are 1 gallon like milk jugs.
No, the 15 5-gallon plastic water jugs is what he filled up.
Holy
15
crap!
5-gallon
Yeah,
plastic
you're right.
water jugs. So those are the big ones, and full of change. Those things you cannot lift off the ground. I don't care who you are.
My apologies if I said 1 gallon. In my mind, I was thinking.
No, you
I was thinking 1 gallon
when you were talking about it. Yeah, no, it was 5 gallon. That's a lot of change. Wow.
My mom.
Well, in any case,
my mom
he's
would
still
collect
walking
change in
around.
this large glass container. I mean, really, like probably bigger than the 5 gallon thing. And she would just put her change in there. And do you know the weight of the coins broke the container?
Yeah, I believe that. Sure.
It was pretty thick glass too. I mean, it was probably a good 2 feet in diameter at the base. So even though it was a large piece of glass, it flat.
I mean, it probably didn't help that she was chucking silver dollars at it from across the room, but
I'd been
like
I was a kid. I'd been like a dog with a frisbee. I'd been jumping up there and grabbing those silver dollars. But anyway, so interesting
speaking
story.
of pennies from heaven here, this is an interesting story that was actually aired in your neck of the woods recently.
Yep, a social media friend of mine, Andrea Watkins, I think she broke this story, and it's from a Katy Independent School District, and I live in Katy, so not a.
Wow, this really is close to home.
Yeah,
Holy cow!
Not actually a girl named Katy, but the town of Katy. So this was a news story from Andrea Watkins, Houston, Fox 26. A school teacher from the Katy Independent School District tells her 7th grade students that God is a myth.
Oh boy.
That's according to 12-year-old Jordan Woolley. And good God, that's a $5 word if I ever saw one. Corroborated. There we go. By other students in the class. In other words, they said, yes, it happened. So Jordan showed Fox 26 a classroom assignment where students were asked to differentiate between fact, common assertion, or opinion. The second item on the paper was the statement, "There is a God."
Oh boy.
I told her it was a fact, indeed true, based on my religion, and she said it was incorrect. I was wrong.
Dun dun dun.
She says she still answered that statement was factual because her faith is more important than getting a question right on an assignment. She also texted her mom from school, flooring Chattel Woolley, her mom, that there was even a discussion about this in a public classroom. I have to agree.
There's supposed to be, the whole separation of church and state and stuff. And there's actually something kind of similar going on in my neck of the woods about a debate over whether or not kids from a certain school should be allowed to sing Christmas carols at this one church place or whatever. And yeah, it's just an absolute nightmare when you start getting into this kind of stuff.
So the majority of kids believe in God, Jordan's mother told Fox 26, and they're being told by their teacher that there is no God. Now, I certainly understand the premise here, and I'll go out on a little bit of a tangent and say,
all right,
in Revelations, in Genesis, it says that we were created in God's image. I don't think that means that we look like the guy or the lady or the being. I think it basically means we are God-like. We have the ability to differentiate between right and wrong and think outside the box. And this is what this teacher is doing. She's trying to teach these kids about thinking out the box. And one of the things that if you've gone through many, many years of Christian upbringing, going to Sunday school and sleeping on Sundays in the pew, or we had nice seats where we were. I didn't know about pews until I watched a movie with those hard wooden benches. But you just kind of take it as fact and you don't really question it. So I guess at 12 years old, it's not a bad idea to actually question it. You don't have to disbelieve. I mean, the whole idea behind God not coming by and visiting every so often is so that you have to have the faith and the belief that he's real and live your life accordingly. So, I mean, if God came by and Josh, I don't know if you're religious at all, and I don't know if you're an atheist but if you were an atheist and if God came by and there was no doubt in your mind he or she was the person they claimed to be, that probably would change your entire outlook on your whole atheist thing.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I mean, I've heard of people witnessing holy events, miracles, that sort of thing, and completely changing their outlook on faith and religion as a whole. Now, I've experienced several religions. I've been exposed. That was the word I was looking for to several religions growing up. Everything from Buddhism to Catholicism to Judaism to Christianity and beyond. Even Mormonism to a certain extent. And one thing I think I've gathered from all of that is that nobody has it right. 100%.
No,
everything is so different and yet so similar in some regards that nobody can have the ultimate answer. And so I believe that if you're going to go down a righteous path in your life, that you shouldn't be following one book or another. You should be able to have the freedom to take little bits and pieces out of whatever religion you wish to sort of make your own judgment and whatnot. But sort of making a definitive line in the sand in school of all places, I think is crossing the line.
Somebody was bored. They just decided they were going to stir some stuff up, I believe.
So I'm wondering is where this curriculum came from. I mean, where did this teacher get this printout from? Or did they just, decide to pull this out of their, and figure, oh, this ought to be a good exercise. And yeah, maybe that they were bored, just wanted to stir the pot a little bit.
Well, I can certainly understand the idea behind critical thinking, but I don't know that the teacher thought this thing through very much.
Well, certainly not.
We have a lot of people that are playing checkers when we need them to be playing chess. And one of those individuals, certainly our government needs to be playing chess and at least using that type of strategy and not the checker strategy that they use. And other leaders in our community, like school teachers, very important how they present themselves and the things they say and they do. And I think that this was just an ill-conceived failure. I do understand it. I don't think it's initially bad. And the young lady stood up and she actually went in front of the school board and said to them her beliefs and why that shouldn't be that way and what bothered her about it. So a lot of courage for this young lady. So if nothing else, it just really, I guess at a teachable moment, not only did she learn to stand up for her beliefs, she taught other children and I'm sure adults that they could stand up for their beliefs as well. And
I commend that.
Yep. So speaking of beliefs, can you believe something would go wrong in a theater? The only way this could be good, any better, would be if it was in Colorado.
Yeah, right. That would certainly have put an interesting twist on this one. This was no fake Hollywood drama, nor was it an act of terrorism. This is the case of an idiot, and the reaction of the general public has to stupidity. It was just like any other Friday night. Junior was off work and he had a hot date. Yep, this was one for sure. It was not going to stand him up. He'd been stood up 8 times in the last 2 months. The Vaseline and Cheetos photo shoot must not have been the ticket to contrary to his cousin's Cletus's advice. But this time, he was armed, literally. Junior just got his concealed carry license. If that little laminated piece of paper wasn't a surefire panty dropper, he didn't know what was. Fast forward a few hours, and there's Junior, 45 minutes into a movie, The Scorch Trials, the second movie in the Maze Runner series. Junior was, of course, all alone. Save for the throngs of people who weren't creepy or weird and actually had a date, of course. Well, 45 minutes in and what was likely 3 full liters of Dr. Pepper consumed, Junior was getting a little squirmy. I could have been for that or the fact that maybe he had a fully loaded 380 stuffed in his waistline, which was now considerably more tight from the tanker truck of soda he just drank. This is about the point where Heather Myers thought she heard a popped candy bag or what could have been some sort of a prank. She recalls what she saw.
This guy started shouting, "Oh my God, I just shot myself. I just got my concealed carry," and then everybody jumped up and ran.
According to moviegoer and military veteran Tim Coleman, who sat one row in front of the man with his 12-year-old daughter, said he used the smallest amount of common sense ever applied in human history and quickly determined the man wasn't intent on shooting anyone else because just one shot was fired. While others evacuated their bladders, the theater, in a panic, Coleman said he had helped the man remove his belt and used it as a tourniquet around the man's upper thigh. I would think that the pressure may have been better served, say, with the belt around this guy's neck, maybe. I don't know. At this point, the guy was starting to turn pale. He got pretty weak pretty quick. As I was putting the belt around his leg, he started praying, and the first responders arrived about 15 minutes later. The man was treated at a local hospital for injury to his upper thigh. That was not life-threatening. If you wonder just how a man could be this ignorant or stupid, let me draw your attention to a state law that recently went into effect allowing gun owners to conceal and carry without training or a permit. Smart.
You don't have a conceal and carry, do you?
I don't. I don't. So I
you
don't
haven't
have a
been
daily carry.
So you haven't been to a conceal and carry class?
No, I haven't been to one in person. No, I've taken some stuff online, looked at what the course kind of stuff is, gone through it. I mean, I know what they teach, but I don't have
the shooting test is a 4x8 sheet of plywood. All you have to do from 7 feet away.
Oh no!
Is hit a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and this guy shooting his thigh, he passed because that was a much smaller target than a 4x8 sheet of plywood. So
this guy obviously didn't know how to handle a gun.
Well, you don't put your damn finger on the trigger when you're moving the damn thing around.
Yeah, I don't think he knew gun safety, how to use a gun. You know, I don't even know if he knew the right way to point one. But yeah, nonetheless,
you know,
he certainly got a one hell of a lesson.
If Hollywood wants to do something about guns in general, they need to start teaching people how to handle them on the screen, because 99.9%, no, I'm not going to say that, 87% of the people get all their gun information from watching movies or TV. And when you see people walking around with their finger on the trigger, no matter what they're doing,
even if I'm out like with a large group of jeepers or something like that, where we're out in the woods off-roading or something like that, and there's several of us that all have guns. We stop for lunch and we're out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and we're got a big mountainside here on one side of us. We might do some plinking and stuff like that, and I see some jackass walking around and he doesn't have his finger over the trigger guard. He has it in the trigger, and it's just like, dude, what the hell are you doing?
I mean, you trip, you sneeze, you clench your buttocks too tight. Boom, that sucker's going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Coach's son was in my eyes, and now little Johnny's dead. So keep your stinking finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. It takes a fraction of a second to move that thing. There are no gunfights anymore where it's a quick draw type thing. So just keep your finger off the trigger. Good God. Anyway, so enough about that. It just drives me nuts. Speaking of nuts,
and here I was going to reach really far and try and pull in a little bit of a segue for you, but no, sir, you pulled that one off really well.
Oh, well, you'll see what I'm talking about here in a second. Officer accused of biting man's testicle, no longer on the force. Shocking. Baltimore, Maryland. A Baltimore man is no longer an Arundel, thank you, county police officer after he was charged for public intoxication and accused of biting another man's testicle during a fight outside a bar while he was off duty. Thank God, on Cinco de Mayo. Did you know Cinco de Mayo is on the same day every year? I did not know that.
Interesting.
I really didn't.
How would somebody know this?
So somebody that speaks Spanish. County police spokesman Lieutenant Ryan Frazier, that actually is a Frazier, isn't it? Haven't seen it spelled that way before. Tells the captain of Annapolis, 31-year-old Corporal Michael Flagg is no longer employed by the department as of September 23rd. But he wouldn't elaborate on why he left. He left with a bad taste in his mouth.
Oh.
Flagg was involved in a fight in May, and after the victim accused Flagg of groping his female roommate, I don't think that's a euphemism. After the incident, police told local news outlets that during the fight, the victim straddled Flagg, oh God, to keep him from getting away, and Flagg bit his testicles. Now see, this just got twice as worse because in the title it says biting man's testicle, not two. You still got a good one. But no, at the end of the story, testicles. He bit both of them.
This guy must have had some gaping maw that he was able to, unless he was just went at it like Pac-Man. It's like a rabid chihuahua under there.
All I can say is this. if you're going to put them in front of somebody's face,
Hey,
and they're pissed off enough, pardon the pun, if they want you off, they're going to get you off, and that's just a bad pun, one way or another.
well, speaking of nuts,
cheese.
This is
you mean
one-
like the
this
cheese
is-
ball with nuts on it? That's all the love those
oh
things.
boy, you know, I like
That would
those
be a
cheese
yeast
balls,
infection,
actually.
wouldn't it?
Oh, good Lord. I have to eat after this. Oh, the pleasures of fall, Tony. Leaves falling, football everywhere, and all you can eat testicles. You'd think so on this show, at least. Well, not just any testicles, free testicles. And don't you just love having the warm meat in your mouth? Well, okay, some of you are probably thinking of something horrible, and the rest of you have probably figured out by now that I'm talking about the lightly breaded, deep-fried testicles from buffalo, bulls, boars, sheep, and goats, with a side of ranch dressing, of course.
Bison.
Riley's in Syracuse, New York, has hosted the Testicle Festival for decades. Manager and server Valerie Brecka, well, this chick, says some people do it just to try them. Some people actually love the taste of them. I say some people are just nuts. So it's so popular this year, the Festival of Testes, that the restaurant just had to order 40 more pounds, a record for the establishment since it was founded. The festival favorites are bull and bison, but I would probably go for the grasshopper ones myself if I absolutely had to pick something off the menu, for obvious reasons, of course. As for the gratis gonads, the restaurant owner simply states, you can't have fun with balls, then, well, I guess you can't have fun. So we don't ask for people to pay for them. Some dive right in. Well, some of you might want a beer with those nuts or some liquid courage to try them at the very least. For those who have made the proclamation that no ball meat shall pass your lips, then this is for you. I looked online because where else can you get an accurate information about something like the taste of balls? Yeah. After juggling through countless scrotal descriptions of all shape, size, color, and funk, I finally found a food site that described the Epicurean experience like this. Cooked like they look like a chicken nugget, but with a softer consistency, maybe like a fried scallop. The taste is a little meaty, with the breading providing a good deal of the flavor. That sounds just about vague enough to lure someone in, but I'm not buying it. Guess it doesn't matter since they're giving balls to put in your mouth for free.
40 pounds of
More.
testicles.
40 pounds more. In addition to what they already had, which God knows how many pounds that was.
You know, I would guess that a bull, 2 testicles, maybe half a pound, maybe.
So I worked at a bar up in Vancouver, Washington, many, many years ago that served Rocky Mountain oysters, as they were so commonly called.
Right.
And the ones that were in the restaurant, they, of course, came frozen. This wasn't exactly something that you would call fresh.
Right.
And they were
could you
about
tell?
the size of, well, if you were to squish a racquetball down into the size of an egg, it would be about that.
Oh, wow. So pretty dense.
Oh, very dense. Yes. I've never tried one. Somebody tried to get me to take a bite of theirs. I was like, no, I'm not having none of that. Thank you. But I was close enough to see texture and smell, and I get the gist of it. And
What?
no, I mean, I don't even like gizzards or liver or any of that stuff. I always thought that I would do pretty well on a show like Fear Factor or something like that until it came to the part of having to eat something. And I just can't do it, man. The weird stuff, I just cannot do. And this certainly falls into the weird stuff category in my book.
I dissected a cat one time in biology.
Oh, I couldn't do it.
And then
I've owned too many cats over the years.
Well, I don't think I'd ever had a cat by that at that time. But dissected a cat in biology. It was actually biology too. And then went to a Chinese buffet afterwards. So that's about as close as I've come to.
That must have taken balls.
Yeah. Well, it was a female cat. And there for a while, I thought they all were. Oh my God, the humanities. I don't know, Josh. That's
I don't know either. But hey, if you guys have any information as to your own experience of eating testes, well, we'd like to hear it, I guess.
And I don't care if it was fried or all natural. If it was sushi testicles, that's fine too.
No, thank you.
But I'd prefer you were drunk and a female.
info@tonyandjosh.com. Send those emails or cease and desist letters to info@tonyandjosh.com.
That's INFO, not ninfo, but info. Just to be clear.
Could you imagine the sort of correspondences we'd get from that other one? Jeez. Well, hey guys,
it would still be Nikki G.
Yeah, exactly. Where you guys want to go is tonyandjosh.com. All our entire show archive is there for your guys' downloading pleasure, 100% free. We do encourage you guys to subscribe to our feeds, though. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us, of course, on the Twitter, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, TuneIn.com. Guys, we are all over the place. And we, of course, encourage you to leave us a 5-star review and drop us a comment every now and again. We appreciate the feedback, and constructive criticism is always welcome.
Love the feedback. And if you're not aware, The Walking Dead is back on, at least for the time being. And I say that because the, what do you call it? Not the the mid-season break is getting ready to happen here, I think this month. But some interesting stories, and Josh and I have been doing a little bonus download, a little extra segment for The Walking Dead. And we're getting ready to do, 604?
That's right.
Here's Not Here. So, or as many like to call it, the Morgan Show, because it was all about Morgan. So, and not Morgan Freeman. I mean, that would be pretty good. Or Morgan Fairchild. Actually, Morgan Freeman and Morgan Fairchild in the same show would be pretty good.
Boy, that's a lot of Morgan.
So anyway, it's a separate download. So just look for it after this episode, or just look for it, anything that says The Walking Dead 604, and download it. And there's 603, there's 602, and there's 601. This whole season 6, Josh and I have spoken about. So, go back and relive the fun. And, we don't say spoiler alert. So, damn it, make sure you watch the show, or you don't care about the spoiler before you listen to us, because we talk about it in detail.
Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter, twitter.com/TonyandJoshShow. Spell that all out. And make sure you guys are finding us on Facebook, facebook.com/TonyandJoshShow. We want to hear from you guys, and make sure you are telling a friend early and often.
We love it when you tell a friend. You guys have a great night. We'll see you next week.